The next stop in our Between the Rows Farmer Spotlight takes us to Preble County to the farm of Don Jackson.
Yeah, I'm out here on the high Indiana line. We actually farm some ground on the Indiana side in Union County and Indiana too. We farm about 1,400 acres, about 700 each of corn and beans. Got a contract hog operation. We feed out hogs for combine feeds.
Those hogs help with some pretty significant crop production numbers.
We were able to break the 300 bushel barrier last year on the yield contest, and of course all my neighbors call me up and what's your secret and everything. Well, there's a lot to it. I mean, the hog manure really adds a lot of value there. But still, when you get into the high yield, you first want to start off with good soil fertility. I mean, everybody's wanting all these secret ingredients, secret potions to put on these crops, but if you don't have good, high soil tests, nutrients in your soil test, that's the basic to start off with, so get your levels of your soil test up.
When it comes to those other high yielding secrets,
well, like I said, you start off with good soil fertility. Then the genetics, is playing a key in all these yields. These genetics have come a long ways in just the last 10 years, last 4 to 5 years even. Every year these genetics just keep coming out stronger and stronger. So you pick the genetics, and then you can kind of go from there. You scout, and then you see some. We do tissue testing, see if you got any nutrient deficiencies. Maybe you can add some foliars to insect pressure. Keep your weed. You got to keep your fields clean from the weeds and all. Bring your soil pHs up. Lime's a big, a lot of lime going on now too. So
managing weeds is an important part of Jackson's operation.
Well, like I've talked to you before about it, we're a big proponent of getting the fall burn down on, getting ahead of that. It seems like in the fall, if you can get that dicamba and 2,4-D on these weeds, especially the mare's tail, some of your tougher giant rag, stuff like that, you're way ahead of the game if you can get that burn down on there. And then we put a residual on too in the fall, especially on. Now this year I went to even on the bean where I'm planting beans, I ended up putting my Valor XLT on again. I tried that a few years ago. Did real well, so we thought, well, we'd try it again, and it's really held everything clean. We're staying way ahead of the game. So.
Jackson recaps the growing season so far.
Yeah, we had a real dry late winter, early spring. I think when we talked there late April when we got started planting, we were looking at a deficit about 4 to 5 inches since the 1st of January, and since then, like we talked about, we've caught up. We're actually about 1 to 2 inches above normal on rain right now. So, like I said, Mother Nature always balances everything out. You just hate to do it all at one time, because hopefully now she doesn't go the other way when we're going to need some timely rains this summer. Even though at the end of the year you're back to normal rain, but if you don't get it timely, that's kind of hurts too.
However, that rain could mean diseases for the crop.
So far we haven't seen any on, especially the corn yet. We'll be scouting. I got a scout that scouts my fields for me, helps me out there. We'll check. Like I said, we're done with the fungicides on the corn. We did try some in-furrow full season fungicide this year on the corn, new product out. We'll see how that pans out. We'll evaluate it come tassel time and see, if that's looks like it's gonna hold through, or whether or not we're gonna have to come in with an air application on that. But we'll leave some for a study anyway to see what happens. But we'll evaluate some other fields and see how that goes. We'll check where we sprayed our B6 corn and see how that's holding out. Then we've got some others that we plan just to go with a straight aerial at tassel time, and so try some different strategies that way.
Now the big question, will we see Don Jackson on the yield leaderboard this year?
I tell you, 2 or 3 weeks ago I wasn't very encouraged about it, but this corn's recovered a good bit, and their spots is looking pretty good. So we'll just have to. It's all up to Mother Nature from here on out. So pollination window. This heat we've had the last several days keeps. We're supposed to get a break in it now, but here in a couple 3 weeks when we get this corn starting to tassel, we definitely don't need 100-degree days and 80-degree nights.
Between the Rows is sponsored by Seed Genetics Direct, a family-owned company meeting the corn, wheat, soybean, alfalfa, and herbicide needs of Corn Belt farmers. Value, knowledge, performance. It's in their genetics.